Oh my goodness, just hours after Alpine announces Oscar Piastri will be racing for them alongside Esteban Ocon, Piastri himself has said, "No, I am not." Let's read the statement. So, of course, this morning, well, U.S. time this morning, Alpine, of course, announces that they are going to sign Oscar Piastri to go in their second seat after the departure of Fernando Alonso for Aston Martin. Well, Oscar Piastri has finally responded. It took him a while. It took him a few hours. He had not made an official statement, and people were like, why is he not making a statement? There's been rumors, reports of him talking to the two other teams. Williams and McLaren, I think, are the two big ones. Well, here's what Piastri said. I understand that, without my agreement, Alpine F1 have put out a press release late this afternoon that I am driving for them next year. This is wrong, and I have not signed a contract with Alpine for 2023. I will not be driving for Alpine next year. We saw this situation in IndyCar. In the IndyCar series, Chip Ganassi Racing announced that they had decided to pick up the option on Alex Palou's contract and, keep him for an extra year. A few hours later, Palou said, actually, that's not true. I'm not staying with Chip Ganassi Racing. I'm going to go to McLaren, which is another IndyCar team. And, well, Chip Ganassi Racing wasn't happy. McLaren wasn't happy that Chip Ganassi Racing wanted to keep him. Now there is a lawsuit going on, a federal lawsuit, so it's a pretty big deal about the contract of Alex Palou. Well, once again, we are seeing the same situation, but this time in Formula 1. I cannot believe this has happened twice in a year in motorsports, but Alpine has completely just fumbled everything. They have messed up big time here. You have Ocon in one seat. He's on a multi-year deal, and so there was no chance of him really getting booted off the team or anything like that. But for the second seat, the debate has been for a while. Do you keep two-time champion and 40-year-old, so an older driver whose career is coming to an end, let's be honest, because, I'd be shocked if he races for like 6, 7 more years, but you never know with Fernando. But do you keep Fernando Alonso, a two-time champion, who can bring a lot to the team, a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, or do you bring in a young, up-and-coming talent, an F2, F3 champion, Oscar Piastri? Who do you put in that other seat? And, of course, Alonso came back from his short time away from Formula 1 in 2021 to race for Alpine, achieved a podium at Qatar, helped defend against Lewis Hamilton to help his teammate get a win at Hungary last year. And this year, Alpine has had its moments where it's fast, but Fernando Alonso does not seem too happy. They've had tons of reliability issues, and it's mainly been on Alonso's side. The team has seemed to put some blame, or Otmar, the team principal, has seemed to put some blame on Fernando Alonso when, it has not been Fernando Alonso's fault. So it seems like there's some inner team tension with Fernando Alonso. Otmar, I can't pronounce his last name, I'm sorry. And that seems like they don't like each other just from the reports that come out and from everything that has happened between them. And Alonso, shockingly, just days after Sebastian Vettel announced his retirement from Formula 1, Alonso announced that he would be leaving Alpine to go to Aston Martin. Now, the timing of this was pretty quick because Vettel announced it last Thursday that he'd be retiring, and literally 4 days later, on Monday, it was announced his replacement will be his old rival, Fernando Alonso. And a lot of people were very shocked by that move. Of course, Alonso's in a contract year, so, there's always the possibility he could go there, but they were thinking maybe Mick Schumacher, maybe you bring up Nick de Vries or something like that. You put the reserve driver into the main car, Nico Hülkenberg, and so, there was a lot of speculation who's going to be in that second Aston Martin seat. But Fernando Alonso's name, it came up, but it was never really like, oh yeah, that's going to happen. So that was a huge shock to the Formula 1 news world, silly season news. And then after that, the question is, who goes into that second Alpine seat? And the majority of people are like Oscar Piastri. You know, he's an Alpine reserve driver. He's an Alpine, you know, he's an Alpine guy. He's been in their system. He's expected to take over that seat. And so people are expecting him. But because of Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon holding those seats, Piastri had been looking at other teams, and Alpine had allowed other teams to hold discussions with him for a 2023 ride. Majority of reports, rumors, talks have been with Williams. And then, you know, there was the far reached with McLaren. But then more recently, it's become much more serious, the talks between Piastri and McLaren. So lots of people are speculating that Piastri will go to McLaren, take Daniel Ricciardo's seat. Ricciardo could return to the French team. Of course, he raced for Renault between 2019 and 2020. So he could return to the French-based team, or he could look elsewhere. I mean, there's not really many other places to look. Haas doesn't have their second seat filled. Mick Schumacher has not signed an extension with them yet. Technically, Joe Guan Yu has not signed with Alfa Romeo, but I would expect him to stay there. Other open seats right now, I'm trying to think. Aston Martin's filled up, Red Bull's filled up, Mercedes is filled up, Ferrari is filled up, Aston Martin's filled up. Alpine has really put themselves in a hole here. They have shown that they are fast this year. They're fourth in the constructors' standings. They've had double points consistently. They've looked really good at times. But this is going to hurt them. They may have the speed of the car, but if they don't have the driver, then you can't do much with it. And they lost Fernando Alonso, a guy who's over 40 years old and still looking like an incredible race car driver. And now they've lost Oscar Piastri. This is a terrible day for Alpine. You know, they had to choose Alonso, Piastri. Which one are we going to get? And you're thinking they're going to get one of them, surely. There's no way they lose both of them. If they lose both of them, that's the worst outcome. Well, the worst outcome has just happened for Alpine. They have lost both of their talents that they could have had. Alpine, this is terrible for them. As for Piastri and his future, I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know if he's going to go to McLaren, if he's going to go to Williams. Obviously, he would prefer McLaren because they are in a bit better situation right now because, you know, Williams is like dead last in every single points. In the constructors, one of their drivers is last in the points and the drivers, so he would much prefer McLaren. But yeah, that's huge. This is crazy. I have not seen anything like this. I mean, obviously with the Alex Palou IndyCar situation, we've seen that. But McLaren, if this truly is McLaren that's going to get Piastri, man, McLaren is just great at blowing people's contracts up and really just pissing other teams off. They did it in IndyCar, now they're potentially doing it in F1, but Piastri, where's he going to go? Let me know. Where do you think he's going to go? Is he going to go to Williams? Is he going to go to McLaren? Where do you think he's going to go? And then also, the next question is who's going to take that second Alpine seat next to Ocon? If he goes to McLaren, would Ricciardo take over that Alpine seat? Would they go look elsewhere? You know, it's just crazy. I don't know. I can't believe this is happening, but crazy stuff in the Formula One world. We'll talk about any other news that comes up with Piastri, with Alpine, but yeah, I'm shocked by this news. This is a big deal. Wow. Yeah, just a few hours ago, Alpine's announcing that Piastri's going to be on their team. Piastri said, no, 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 not so fast. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this whole situation.